I'm here for your enjoyment. Exactly. One more second.
I like that.
Okay, our next entrepreneur will be Chisa Egbelue and PeduL.
Very close across the board. My name is Chisa Egbelue, and this is PeduL. Now, I usually start off my pitch by going on about a story about how expensive college is and how it's difficult for people to go and not go. But you get it, right? We all know college is really expensive. And the stats kind of back it up, right? Out of 21 million people that are going to go to college, 7 in 10 of them are going to graduate with $37,000. You know, it's a lot, right? So I'm going to really get you to know what we're doing, right? Out of the $14 billion in private scholarships, right, there's that there. And on the other side, you have 12.85 million students looking for them. Now, how can they meet each other? That's the really hard part. You always hear about every year how many millions of dollars of scholarships went unclaimed. You hear about students applying, having 50 different tabs open and applying to every single one. It's a difficult process. And who we are, we're PeduL, right? I'm going to say it slow, because I want to make sure everyone really knows, because if you need the platform at all after as well, you should still hit me up. PeduL is a scholarship marketplace where students can go to, apply to multiple scholarships with one application, right? Like a common application for scholarships. And on the other side of it, we incentivize individuals, organizations, celebrities, and corporations to easily create and manage scholarships using our CRM platform. Now, we're venture-backed by Amazon's Newark Venture Partners, as well as Gary Vaynerchuk, who just joined our current round. And it's really important for you to know how this works, right? Right now, we are pushing a huge diversity and inclusion front when it comes to the corporations. They're the ones paying the biggest bucks right now, right? So we gotta, throw them a little something, something, see what we can get, all right? So the way it works with corporations is the NFL, one of our clients, they can't go onto Indeed or Monster.com and post a job listing that says, looking for a black woman developer, right? But we know they need them, right? But what they can do is create a scholarship for the exact same thing, black woman developer. And with the applicant listing that they're able to create, they can bring them into their candidate pools, and they can also allocate things like training modules, coaching curriculum, to decrease the skill gap between the last day of college and the first day of work, and to also make sure that they're cultivating the employee that they want to see, one that fits their strategic needs, right? So whenever they're looking for a cybersecurity specialist, but they have a junior in college that is a computer science major, that's probably not going to learn about cybersecurity while they're in school, right? They're able to allocate certain learnings to make sure that this student gets to the point that they need them to be at for them to be hired. Now, we are on track to do 25 of these clients a quarter, right? Between $2,000 and $250,000 is what they pay us. And to make it clear, because we work with foundations and individuals, our price points for them are lower. But when we're dealing with our corporate partners, those price points go anywhere from $100,000 a year to $250,000 a year, depending on what we're giving them. And that 2020 track has us on due to do $1.75 million in sales. And we've had a lot of traction, but we've had a long story. Y'all know how entrepreneurship goes. We were able to take 1.4 million views and turn it into 454,000 students that signed up to our wait list, right? And then when we became live, we were able to really push that and get 30% month-over-month growth. And the 454,000 was something we were able to do with $0 marketing spend, something we were really proud of. But it took us a lot of work with Amazon's data science team to make sure that we had the growth rate to be able to push that month over month to make sure that we were actually learning as fast as we could and servicing these clients in a way that we felt they deserved. Now, we've had commitments from top corporations and more since we made this slide deck, and we're able to give them the opportunity to not just allocate their scholarships and look good and all of that, but to really re-energize their recruiting efforts, right? Now, to be clear with you, we are not an Uber for this or an Airbnb for that. We're a category-defining startup. And what we're doing is not something you've probably seen before. And a lot of our sales is educating our clients, right? That this can work, that they can hyper-target veterans, or that they can hyper-target Latinas in Oklahoma and super source them and develop them into the employees that they're going to have leading their company in the future. Now, there's competition, right? And I gotta be clear with y'all. We are in a room full of black people. It's important for you to know we are not Scholly, okay? I know you're all thinking it, but I wanna put that out there right now. And the biggest difference between us and Scholly is a really great search engine for scholarships. But what we are is a platform where students can apply for scholarships in-app. We have job opportunities, employment pipelines, and we're making sure that when it comes to influencers, right, that there's an economy within our platform for them to also benefit. Now, when we work with influencers, they usually use it for not just marketing, but data aggregation as well, right? And when we're working with these corporations, we're able to cultivate exactly what they're looking for and make sure they're getting the value they need. Now, my name's Chisa Egbelue. It's about time up, right? I draw up on my experience where I was working at Google, MSNBC, iHeartMedia, in their marketing and production. My co-founder, Kayla, she sold her first company when she was in high school. You think I'm good, she's way better. And we have a great advisory board, right? From the former co-founder and CEO of the Common Application for College, to Gary Vee, to Toby Alfred, the former managing director at Goldman Sachs that just joined our board last week, to Ryan Leslie, hip-hop producer and superstar, and McCombs, I know y'all cool, whatever. But for us, we're raising $750,000. We have $500,000 committed. But in addition to the monetary needs, right? If you have any intros to any talent acquisition teams, any influencers, I'd love to chat because I know our product is of service. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Start with my good brother Derek here. You can do 2 questions too if you want.
I'll pass it on right now. What? I'm gonna go last this time.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, okay, thank you.
I'll take it.
Why don't you start off?
All right, so I wanted to talk to you a little bit about internal to these organizations, right? I know when I worked at Apple, a lot of our best employees in corporate came from the stores. So what opportunity do these companies have to help their kind of frontline employees become the managers of tomorrow?
So that's actually within our growth strategy of how we want to upsell our companies, right? We definitely have our front service of being able to recruit this entry-level talent, but what our vision is, one of many, of course, right? But what our most immediate vision is to be able to make sure that these companies are creating the infrastructure to make sure these employees stay at their companies, right? That they can grow and actually be mobile. So right now, that's not something we control, but it is something that we're looking to be a part of.
Do you have any numbers behind like the cost to acquire talent, right? And so for instance, the example even of a black woman developer.
Yeah.
Obviously they can't have that in the job description. So then maybe it's even more inefficient, right? To actually then acquire and bring one onto the team. So I would love to hear the value that you add in that terms.
Yeah, so every year corporations are spending about $4 billion collectively to recruit this entry-level talent. Inefficiently, obviously. Pretty much right now what they do is they fly out to whatever conference they can. They pay for not only the employee's time, right, but the travel, the hotel fees, the expenses when it comes to food, to get 2 or 3 candidates, right? And they're not going to every conference. They're going to maybe Ohio State, or they're going to go to Grace Hopper, but they're going to miss out on the candidates at Toledo University, right? That could be just as good, or at Tulane that they couldn't afford to add to their calendar, but has just as much of a likelihood to be mobile within that organization. So it's a very inefficient means for them to acquire that black woman developer, but that's what they're going for right now. If you don't got a question too, I got one last,
So my question is, okay, I see how you're tackling the tail end of the pipeline, but the main issue and feedback from a recruiting standpoint is that these institutions don't have the educational quality and rigor that they deem necessary. Are you even trying to tackle that, or is that something
we definitely are.
Okay, could you elaborate on that?
For sure. So, on our end, that's part of the development, right? So these corporations are able to find these students within their pipeline, whether that is a scholarship for sophomores in college or a scholarship for juniors in college. But the most important piece is that they get to specifically develop these students, right? They can allocate the training modules, the coaching curriculums, and make it dependent on the scholarship. And what these training modules do is that it does curtail and it decreases that skills gap between what they're learning in school and what they're actually going about in the workplace, right? And so so we actually have a partnership with Angelini Darasaw and Google Career Coaching Service. And what they do is they build out these different curriculums based on what the employer's strategic hiring goals are, right? They need cybersecurity specialists, but Albany State might not have a cybersecurity program, but they have a lot of computer scientists. And so this gives these corporations a direct pipeline to develop talent way before they even need it.
Do you have an outreach arm to those institutions and students? So are you at the HBCUs talking to them?
Oh, so we work directly with consumers. We work really hard to make sure we're straight up with the students because it decreases the sales cycle of working with universities, of course. So we do a lot of things for consumers, man.
Like what?
Growth hacking, that is probably borderline. Probably don't even say it on camera. But in conjunction with that, we do all types of parody videos. If you go to our Instagram right now, you'll see our Old Town Road parody music video. That joint hit 90,000. We're very proud. I had the cowboy hat, I was doing all that. But it garnered us signups, right? So we do everything we can to make sure we're reaching the student because the whole reason our name is PeduL is because EDU, education is the center of everything we do, right? And we believe education is the bridge between P, purpose, and L, life. And if we weren't doing that, then we're not doing what we came here to do. So we're definitely thinking about them. Thank you.
Great work, great work. You mentioned Scali. Some of you may know Scali founder Chris Gray appeared on ABC's Shark Tank, season 7 of the show. He got a deal with Lori Grenier and Damon John, and his business has continued to grow since then. He's definitely doing incredible work connecting students with scholarships and also building out a broader student success platform, but also the work that Chisa and his team are doing is incredible as well.